welcome to Live Long in Color. I want to thank everyone for stopping by and joining me today. I also want to thank everyone who has subscribed, liked, and commented on my videos. You are all so greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Today, I thought I would do a color and chat. I have been meaning to do one of these or wanting to do one of these, but I just never know what to talk about. I mean, what do you sit here? I mean, I love to watch them, but I'd like, what am I going to say? And then I got the idea that I would talk about movies and shows that I have seen in 2021 that stand out. You know, it's going to be the good, the bad, or the ugly, depending. And I'll just go into that. Now, before the big pandemic had happened, my husband and I would go to the movies every week without fail. And I loved going to the movies. I prefer, if I'm going to watch a movie, I prefer it at the movie theater. You just get a more immersive experience. But when we all got the lockdown, that went away. And we haven't been back since. I know we've both been fully vaccinated. I know we probably could go, but it just gives us the heebie-jeebies to be locked in a theater with a bunch of people that we don't know if they've been vaccinated. And we just don't want to take the risk. So we have not been to a movie theater since. So for the most part, I just lost my movie mojo. I don't feel like seeing movies much anymore. So I did not see a ton of movies last year. My husband saw way more than I did. He watches Netflix and such. I watched a few, mainly on HBO Max and Disney Plus. I'm going to interrupt that for a second. This I'm coloring in is 100 Magnificent Mandalas. It's one of my 10 books to finish. I am starting on this end and working my way this way with the colors. And I just wanted to say that because I hadn't mentioned what I'm coloring in. So back to the movies. So basically, I only watch movies mainly on HBO Max and Disney Plus. And I did want to say that if you have children or if you love Disney movies, Disney Plus is an awesome subscription to have. They have tons of content on there. They have a lot of the old movies that used to be hard to get a hold of. And especially if you want to show, your children or whatever, movies that you saw when you were a kid, but, they used to be hard to get a hold of, you can probably find them on Disney. I know I recently watched Bedknobs and Broomsticks, which is a show that came out when I was probably a teenager. I think it came out in the 70s. I don't know why I want to think it came out in the 70s. And I just love that movie. So I watched that recently. That was really good. I love Angela Lansbury. So yeah, I saw that just recently. But the one thing on Disney Plus that I watched, there was a couple of series that I watched that I really liked. I watched The Mandalorian. Now, I know I'm a big Star Trek fan, but I also was a huge Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars, the original series. I liked the prequels, but I could see the flaws. I mean, and as the years have gone by, I've liked them less because you just can't watch it without seeing the flaws. But the recent ones were okay for the most part. But no, I was disappointed in the new one. I had high hopes. The first one was basically a rehatch of A New Hope. The second one, it just went off the rails. I just cannot unsee the scene with Carrie Fisher floating through space. I hated it. The rest of the movie was okay, but I hated it. that scene, it was just awful. And the third movie, I think, in my opinion, they tried to overcorrect what the fans didn't like in the second movie, and so they made this convoluted mess that made no sense. So yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the last three. So when The Mandalorian came out, I watched it and I loved it. It had a very, very old school Star Wars feel. So if you like the original series, I think you would like this one. I think Jon Favreau, who is the director, did an awesome, awesome job. And, you know, this is weird, but at the end of every episode, they kind of show like the storyboards of what you see in the in each episodes. So it's kind of like a little recap of a little vignettes of, and those storyboards are awesome art. I love to watch those as much as I love to watch the movie, the series itself. And as you know, I love Baby Yoda. So yeah, if you're a Star Wars fan, I recommend The Mandalorian. I'm also a huge Marvel fan. I used to collect comic books back in the day in the 60s and, well, no, I didn't collect them in the 60s. In the 70s and the early 80s, I collected comic books. I had to get rid of them when I moved to Texas, and I regret it to this day that I got rid of all those comic books, because they'd probably be worth some money right now. But I read Marvel. I never read DC, but I read tons and tons of Marvel. I read a lot of Spider-Man. I read the Avengers. I read Daredevil. I liked. So I read a lot of comics back in the day. So I'm a big Marvel fan. And so I did not watch The Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I have not watched the new Hawkeye. For some reason, those two just didn't appeal to me. And maybe at some point I will go back and watch them, but I have not. But I did watch WandaVision, which I really liked. It started off like these 60s sitcoms, and then it moved into a different territory as it went along. So if you watch the first episode and you're like, what the heck am I watching? It does get better from that. So yeah, I really liked WandaVision. And then I watched Loki, which I loved. And it set up a lot of things I think that they're going to do in the Marvel universe going forward. I'm a bit bummed that I haven't been able to watch the new Spider-Man. I really, really wanted to see it. I've heard great things about it. The trailer looked awesome. But I'm assuming that eventually it'll come to VOD and I'll get to watch it. So yeah, if you like Marvel, I would highly recommend Loki. And what else did I watch on Disney Plus? Oh, I watched the new Cruella movie, which I didn't particularly care for. I thought it was a good movie if it wasn't a Cruella movie. If it wasn't based on 101 Dalmatians. I don't like the direction they took the title character. I think that Emma Thompson's character was more Cruella than Cruella was. I don't see where they would take this and still be true to the original series, because she's a villain. She kills and skins puppies, and yet, you know, they took that aspect away from her, which I don't say is bad, but it's not the character. The whole point of her character is you don't like her. She's the villain. And so they did it sort of like they did with Maleficent, where they took the villain and turned her around, which I guess is okay if you like that sort of thing. But I would have liked it better if they would have shown her to be the true villain and how she got there. But that's not the way they went. So while it was an okay movie, I wasn't crazy about it. And then, let's see, what else did I watch on Disney Plus? Oh, I attempted to watch Black Widow. I got about halfway done and was bored out of my mind and gave up on it. And I feel bad for that character because I don't think they did her justice. I think if this movie would have been made prior to Endgame and the events that happened in Endgame, which I won't talk about because, you know, spoilers or whatever, I honestly think that it would have been a better movie. But knowing what happens in Endgame, I just couldn't get invested in it at all. And I really thought the plot was kind of, so I gave up on that one halfway. And so I think that's it for what I watched on Disney Plus in 2021. What else did I watch? Let's see. Let's go to HBO Max. I watched what I consider the worst movie I have ever seen in a long time, and that was Space Jam, the new one. I can't even remember what the name is, the one with LeBron James. I watched it with my son, and I managed to finish it. I don't know how, because it just got worse and worse and worse and worse. LeBron James's character in the movie is unlikable, and I know that's probably the point of his character, but I mean, I think they're supposed to have had this big redemption arc with him, but honestly, I didn't care. The product, it's not really product placement. What would I call it? Where they shoehorn in every Warner Brother character that they could think of, because they have a big fight at the end, and in the audience they have DC and Warner Brother characters, and it is just so bad. So I would not recommend that movie to anybody. I know the original Space Jam probably wasn't the best movie ever, but it was 1,000 times better than this one. 1,000 times. So I saw Space Jam. I also saw Wonder Woman 1984. And I was so disappointed in that movie. It is unbelievable. They took Wonder Woman and just, I don't even know what to say. The plot made no sense. And I'm usually the first one when I watch a movie. I don't care if it's based in reality or not. I watch a lot of comic book movies, a lot of science fiction movies or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I usually check my brain at the door. I would have to check my brain 3 states over, and maybe then I still could pick out all the plot holes and things that made no sense whatsoever in this movie. And I don't know why it went so far off the rails. The first movie was really good. I mean, up until the final battle in the first Wonder Woman movie, where the CGI was a little wonky and the villain was a little up until that point, it was a fantastic movie, and I could forgive that because I really enjoyed the movie. And it was just, there was a lot of ick factors in this movie. It was just, I would not recommend it. And that's a shame because I really love Wonder Woman. I love the original one. And yeah, I was so disappointed in this one. Let's see, what else did I see? I saw, oh, one of my favorite movies that I saw last year was the Justice League, the Snyder Cut on HBO Max. It was just awesome. And it was awesome, and then I was saddened at the same time because I wanted the next movie. Like, it's like at the end they tease what could have been, and I wanted that movie so bad, and I know we're not going to get it probably. And I was so kind of disappointed that we aren't going to get it because I loved Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League, and I would highly recommend it. It's a long movie. It's 4 hours, just to give you an idea. However, we did not sit down and watch it for 4 hours. That's the one good thing about it being able to stream it at home. We could, break it down into chunks and watch it. And a lot of it was in the original movie, but I don't know if you know this, but what happened was, I think Zack Snyder had a tragedy in his life and he had to step away, and they gave it, I think, to Joss Whedon to do, and he went in a totally different direction, and it just wasn't as good. This one was so much better. The ending was so much better. Yeah, so if you like DC movies, I think you would like the Snyder Cut. It was good. And I think that's it for what I watched on HBO Max. The final movie that I want to talk about that I saw last year was Free Guy. It starred Ryan Reynolds. It's about a man in a computer game that comes to the realization that he is in a computer game. First, he doesn't realize he's what they consider a non-playable character in a video game, and he comes to realization that he is that everything he knows in his life is been a lie, really, and that he's just this expendable computer character. And I kind of went into this movie with low expectations, and it was really, really good. I really loved it. I thought it was funny. It made me laugh. I don't know if you know who Taika Waititi, I hope I said that name right. He's a director. He directed a couple of, what did he direct? I know he directed Jojo Rabbit. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, but I think he also directed a couple Marvel movies, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, he plays this character that is just so over the top and hilarious. I just loved it. So I would recommend Free Guy if you ever get the chance to watch it. It was really, really good. And Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds. He's always funny. I hear that they might be making a sequel. I would definitely watch it. So that is it. Now, I have not watched the Star Trek series. I started it on Paramount Plus. I have not finished it. My husband keeps asking me when we're going to watch it, and I keep telling him soon. I don't know why. I love Star Trek. Every now and then I'll bring up the old series, the original series, or the Next Generation, or sometimes even Voyager. The only Star Trek series other than the new ones on Paramount Plus that I have not seen in its entirety, I have not seen all of Deep Space Nine. I have not seen the Enterprise at all. I think I maybe tried to watch one episode and just couldn't get into it. Those two I have not seen. But I have watched all of the original series multiple times. I have watched The Next Generation multiple times, including all the movies. I have watched the Voyager more than once. I love Captain Janeway. And so one of these days I will watch the new Discovery. I'm probably going to have to go back and watch parts of the first season again so that I can get caught up again and then start watching it. And when I do, maybe I'll have another, if you guys enjoy this type of thing, have another color and chat and talk about it and my thoughts anyway. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm really, I'm not sure if anybody here is into these types of things, but I enjoy talking about it. So, and the whole point of my doing these videos for me is to have fun. And my husband and I talk all day, and I talk about it to my sons. But other than that, I really don't have anybody to talk about these things with. So it's kind of nice to put my opinions out there in the universe, and such as they are. And hopefully, if you liked it, you can give me a thumbs up and give me a comment and tell me if you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agreed with me. I would love to hear your opinions on any of these shows if you have any. I mean, these are all my opinions. If you liked any of these movies and that I didn't like if you liked Space Jam and you want to say why you liked it, I would love to hear it. To me, everybody, that's the beauty thing about talking to people, is everybody has their own opinions, and it's nice to have a discussion, as long as it doesn't get mean or anything, about why you like something and why I didn't. That's just the way I am. I like to hear other people's opinions on things. So if you feel like giving me a comment and telling me what you think about any of these movies that I've talked about, I would love to hear it. I really don't have anything else to talk about. I think that's about it. I hope, like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a great upcoming week. I've been steadily working on my 10 books to finish, and been coloring a lot, so hopefully it won't be this next week, probably the week after, I'll do my completed pages, and I'll probably see you then. So I hope you all have a great upcoming week. I hope to see you again. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have a great day. Live long in color, and bye-bye.